The internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't mad to y'all. She mad to me.
People keep talking about Jamal Bryant's wife's dress. Dr. Kari Turner, I guess, or Carrie Turner. I don't know how to pronounce it. But people keep talking about the dress and whether it was appropriate or not. I'm not going to get into that. But what I will get into is Pastor Bryant's response. I like him. I've met him a few times when I was in the DC area, and he's a friend of some friends of mine. I don't really know him that well. He probably doesn't remember me, but a lawyer who was a friend of mine who I worked for and with for years was Bryant's attorney. A friend of mine is a friend of Jamal and Giselle, his first wife. So there may be people who see this video who know Bryant personally and are close to him. I don't know him that well, but I like him. I like what he's doing. I like the fact that he's fighting for black people, because you have too many of these black preachers who preach the white man's gospel. They act like the white man, like God told the white man he ought to rule over us. But back to the point, back to my point. I think he missed an opportunity to be fatherly when explaining himself, in defending his wife. I like the fact that he defended his wife, stood by the dress. I mean, if you believe that it's appropriate, you stand by it. That's fine. But I didn't like the fact that he engaged in two things that pastors always do. And I know pastors like the back of my hand. My family, I come from a family of pastors and preachers. Have a bunch of cousins who are preachers and pastors. My uncle, my father's brother, is a pastor. Now, I know how they think. I know how they behave. And so when he made his defense, I said to myself, oh boy, here we go. I knew he was going to get up there and go in on his critics or his wife's critics. But here's the thing. And what he did was gaslight and straw man. Those are the oldest tricks in the books that pastors do. Make it look like your critics are just trying to persecute you, gaslight, act like they're wrong for feeling the way that they do. But here is the thing. There is a legitimate debate or legitimate tension in the Christian community for 2,000 years between asceticism, modesty, whatever you want to call it, and being extravagant. You had John the Baptist, supposedly the forerunner of Jesus. What did he do? He wore clothes made of camel's hair, ate locusts and wild honey. He was a prophet in the wilderness. Jesus himself, said to be what? The Son of God, right? The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Yet, when he lived for over 30 years, he was an itinerant, humble Jewish preacher on the run, being supported by other people. The early Christians were humble people. So there's a tension between, and Jesus himself said, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me. So there's a tension between that and extravagance. You also had priests who were told to be decked out when they dressed. So there's a debate, there's a theological, there are legitimate questions going on in the Christian community. You have Christianity is supposed to be about self-sacrifice. You want to, propagate a man from Galilee, from Nazareth, who lived a sacrificial life. I mean, Jesus was from Nazareth, right? Not from Hollywood. So there's a tension between, okay, putting on a dress saying, hey, look at me, I'm sexy, and sacrificial Christian living. That's a legitimate question that people had. And he could have answered that question like an elder, like a pastor, like a shepherd. He could have got up there and explained that, hey, Abraham was a man of God, but his wife was so fine until the Pharaoh wanted to take her and make her his own wife. She was so fine that Abraham had to lie and say that she's his sister in order to keep from being killed and someone taking his wife from him. So he could have explained that and explained that, hey, it's not wrong to look good. It's not wrong to be extravagant, especially if you are going to a charity event. He explained a little bit of that. But he could have been fatherly in it. He could have been pastoral or shepherd-like. But instead of being Pastor Bryant, he was Jamal. Got up there and said that the critics ain't never been nowhere. Saying that they mistakenly thought it was see-through and it's because of their ignorance. And that's what preachers do. I mean, I hate to say it. Anytime someone criticizes them, it's, I'm being persecuted. The devil is against me. And I think he missed an opportunity. I'm not trying to go in on him because I like the man, but he could have handled it differently. And the Bible does say God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. I didn't say that. That's in the Bible that he claims is his book. God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. But was he humble on that stage? He got up there and said, mind your own business. Why not exercise some humility, explain that the dress is okay, that there is some extravagance in the Bible, explain that there is a tension between humility and being extravagant. He could have resolved the issue better, but instead, he simply painted his critics as enemies, as ignorant, as haters. And so I was disappointed in that. I'm just going to keep it real. But hey, I'm just little old Ed Malone. But that's just my opinion.